Namaskar, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers, trainers, professionals, officer, officials, listener, learners. I welcome all my dear friends. I welcome all adorable ministers and managers. I welcome all respected doctors and directors. I welcome honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators and advisors. I welcome the most honorable President Mr. Modi ji. It is really nice time, nice place, nice section today that we are describing, explaining, defining India-Russia friendship remains steady like the pole star, says Prime Minister. Russian President Putin, who is on a two-day state visit to India, and Modi hold bilateral talks. Prime Minister signals that energy as will continue as a strong and vital pillar of partnership. Despite Western opposition, the two sides signed 16 agreements. From New Delhi, appreciating Russian President Vladimir Putin for taking the India-Russia relationship to new heights over the past quarter of a century. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid out an expansive canvas of energy and trade collaborations between the two countries stretching to 2030, addressing the media after bilateral talks at Hyderabad House on Friday. Mr. Modi described the India-Russia relationship as a pole star and called for a peaceful solution to Russia's war with Ukraine. Over the past 8 decades, the world has witnessed many ups and downs. Humanity has faced numerous challenges and crises. Yet, through all of this, the India-Russia relationship, India-Russia friendship has remained steady like a group Tara pole star, the Prime Minister said. Sustained ties. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri expanded on the PM's use of the Hindu term Dhruv during a later briefing, saying it referred to the sustained and long-term significance of this relation, highlighting the sustainability and certainty of India-Russia ties. Mr. Mishri added, this relationship is a constant. There have been several crises along the way, but they have not altered the fundamentals of this relationship. Mr. Putin's visit has attracted global attention as it comes months after US President Donald Trump imposed punitive tariffs. Path paved to link India's skill base with Russia's demand. Indian and Russian government on Friday signed two agreements that will enhance mobility of Indian semi-skilled and skilled workers to Russia as official sources indicated that New Delhi will increasingly utilize India's strength in the category of semi-skilled workers in the coming years while adding dynamism to existing relations with important partner countries. India-Russia friendship steady as Polestar PM says. In his remarks, the Prime Minister referred to energy security as a strong and vital pillar of the India-Russia partnership since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine. India has consistently advocated for peace with regards to that situation in Ukraine, he added, ahead of the press statements by Mr. Modi and Mr. Putin. The Russian President's special envoy Kirill Dmitriev told the media that British and European press is going hysterical trying to disrupt the US-Russia negotiation in an oblique reference to an article recently published in an Indian newspaper that was jointly authored by the French, British and German envoy to India. Mr. Dmitry said, we know the British Empire does not exist anymore, but attempts to disrupt the Russia-US peace negotiation through the use of the media is still continuing. Referring to the Kundankulam power plant as the largest nuclear reactor of India, Mr. Putin announced that Russia is also willing to collaborate with India for small modular nuclear reactors. He described India and Russia as countries that both follow independent foreign policy that calls for a more just, democratic, multipolar world order and respect for sovereignty. The two sides signed 16 MOUs covering areas such as the mobility of semi-skilled workers, fertilizers, media, and academic collaborations. Path paved to link India's skill base with Russia's demand for laborers. Moscow is reported to meet 5 lakh semi-skilled workers to enhance people-to-people ties. Modi announces British grant of 30-day e-tourist visa and group tourist visa to Russian nationals from New Delhi, India and Russia. On Friday, signed two agreements that will enhance mobility of Indian semi-skilled and skilled workers to Russia as official sources indicated that New Delhi will increasingly utilizing India's strength in the category of semi-skilled workers in the coming years. A list of outcomes after the 23rd India-Russia annual summit said a pact was signed between the two sides on temporary labor activity of citizens of one state in the territory of the other state and a second agreement between the two governments on cooperation in combating irregular migration. An official said that the mobility agreements will provide a framework for employment of Indian workers in Russia and ensure that they do not face difficulties met by Indians who were fraudulently lured by agents to fight for the Russian and armed forces in Ukraine. During the past 3 years, mobility agreements will help us to know where our global job seekers are going, said a source. In a briefing, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that the issue of Indian men fighting for Russian armed forces featured during the talks. Personals had earlier enrolled that there is a demand for half a million semi-skilled workers in Russia, which is one of the factors that is propelling Moscow to reach out to friendly countries. The issue of mobility featured prominently in a speech delivered by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar as a conclave of India's World magazine on December 3, when he said that the government of India wishes to be an enabler of mobility through formal arrangements. India and Russia on Friday also signed agreements on media and academic collaboration, marking a new turn in media collaboration. Mr. Putin attended a special event here to launch the Indian edition of Russian state English broadcaster Russia Today. Russia Today earlier launched an Arabic edition and the channel's Indian version will be his second international foray. To enhance people to people contact, Mr. Modi announced the grant of 30 days e-tourist visa on gratis basis to Russian nation, also on a reciprocal basis, and the grant of group tourist visa on grants basis to Russian national. पीएम आवास में पुतिन का स्वागत पीएम आवास में पुतिन का स्वागत Indigo cancels over 1,000 flights, gets exemption from new night duty rules from New Delhi. Indigo cancelled more than 1,000 flights on Friday and will relax hundreds more on Saturday, crippling air travel across India and sending airfares skyrocketing that prompted the government to exempt the country's largest airline from meeting new rules until February 10. The airline suspended all departures from Delhi airport for the entire day to reboot, to review its systems and stop cascading delays. It cancelled all its domestic flights from Chennai and all flights from Bangalore to Delhi and Mumbai for the entire day. Cancellations were made today to align our aircraft and crew to be where they need to be in order to start afresh tomorrow morning. Measures of the last few days have regrettably proven to be not enough. We have decided today for a review of all our system and schedules. The Gauss chief executive of Pfizer CEO Peter Elders said in a recorded video message. He added that cancellations on Saturday were expected to be below 1,000. The size and scale of Indigo's operation mean normalcy is expected only between December 10 and 15, according to the CEO. The airline operates a total of 2,200 flights every day and accounts for 6 out of every 10 passengers who travel by air. Planning gaps. The Director General of Civil Aviation granted Indigo exemptions from night duty. Restrictions including the cap on two landings until February 10. Cheaper launch likely as an airport rate cut by 25 bps from Mumbai. Government to streamline its public communications framework from New Delhi. The Union government has begun a sweeping revamp of its information network through measures ranging from reorganizing human resources to strengthening technological infrastructure. The aim is to ensure real-time media response mechanism and data-driven campaign planning for a more streamlined public communication framework according to government officials. In the near future, the intake of Indian Information Service officials is likely to see a significant rise given the increasing number of departments and functions that need to be covered under a unified communication system. Officials say that proposal for an IIS cadre structure is also in an advanced stage of consideration. Nation remembers Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar on his Mahaparivartan Divas, December 6, 2025. Teachers in Maharashtra stage day-long stir over TET norms, GR student-teacher issue. Nearly 1.8 lakh teachers across Maharashtra stage day-long strike on Friday, shutting down over 95% of Jilla Parishad schools, 60% of municipal schools, and 25% of private aided schools, according to Teachers Association. The protest was coordinated by 35 unions representing primary and secondary teachers as well as non-teaching staff. Active teachers from Terminal Bhauchashkar, a ZP school teacher from Ahilanagar, shared the agitation was widespread in areas where the model code of conduct was not enforced. Amend RTE Act. Parents unions also joined us in some places. The core issue is professional dignity. After completing D.Ed and B.Ed teachers' days, arbitrary changes in norms. The government must amend the Right to Education (RPA) Act and roll back regressive policies, he said. The flashpoint is the government resolution dated March 15, 2024, which prescribes a stringent student-teacher ratio. Protesters argue that this will force closure of nearly 17,000 schools, especially in rural and tribal belts. The GR also mandates adjustment of schools with low student strength, which the union say will disrupt education and violate RTE norms. Teachers also criticize the growing burden of non-academic tasks and app-based monitoring. Maharashtra Rajya Prathamik Shikshak Samiti Wardha High Court refuses to interfere with stone laying of Babri Masjid style mosque from Kolkata, observing that the responsibility of maintenance of law and order will rest with the state government. The Kolkata High Court on Friday refused to intervene in the foundation stone laying of a Babri Masjid style mosque by Bharatpur legislator Humayun Kabir scheduled for Saturday. The division bench of acting Chief Justice Sujoy Paul was hearing a petition that claimed that the event would affect communal harmony in the state. Admission to Hindu groups called March from Jammu. Correction in a report, Assam minister and tribal body meet amid row over ST tag for six communities. Bengal SIR EC calls for steps to read out that ineligible voters. Special software tallying the death records with civic bodies, banks, pension, and other databases are some of the measures being taken by election officials. TMC questions CEO's warning of legal action against BLOs if deliberate error is found. From Kolkata, the Election Commission of India has directed election officials in West Bengal to take valid measures to ensure the removal of names of every dead and ineligible person from the state's electoral roll amid the ongoing special intensive revision, including scanning databases of Gram Panchayat and municipality records to verify deaths, according to sources in the state chief electoral office, all officials are likely to come through death records available with banks, local civic bodies, crematory, crematoria, cemeteries, family pension data, welfare scheme data, and other verified sources to ensure error-free electoral rolls. This is an additional directive over and above the introduction of a new software for electoral registration officers and district electoral officers in the state for direction of fake or duplicate voters in an assembly constituency. Officials will also reportedly use facial recognition to verify electors' photos and weed out any ineligible voters. These developments are among measures recently announced by the EC and the state CEO to ensure that no eligible person is left out from enrollment and that no eligible elector is included in the electoral rolls. Among the measures is the recent appointment of 12 observers and one special role observers to monitor the SIR process across all districts. On Thursday, CEO Manoj Kumar Agrawal had directed booth level officers to ensure that mistakes made during the digitization of enumeration forms are corrected by December 11. He also instructed them to make sure that no dead, duplicate, relocated, or absent voters are added to the rolls. He also warned them to legal action if any deliberate error is detected. Rushing the process, the last SIR took 2 years to complete, but this time it is being completed within 2 months. So why are election officials issuing threats? They are rushing the process. They are putting people in trouble to favor the BJP. Tribal Congress TMC spokesperson Kunal Ghosh said on Friday, referring to the CEOs, warning to BLOs as they disqualify the total number of uncollectible bonds in the state due to deaths, duplication shifting, or traceability of electors lost 54 lakh. Fadnavis bailed quota for offense as Mahayuti marks 1 year in office from Mumbai. As the BJP-led Mahayuti government in Maharashtra completed 1 year in office on Friday. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, same, described by the state's policy of granting 1% reservation to orphans in education and government jobs as a historic measure rooted in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's principle of equal opportunity. At any event marking the alliance's first anniversary in the front term, the Chief Minister interacted with beneficiaries of the scheme introduced in 2018 and termed it the most emotionally fulfilling decision of his political career. So far, 862 people have benefited and become self-reliant, he shared. However, Congress legislature party leader Vijay Videtivar demanded that the government present a white paper in the winter session of the Assembly beginning on December 8 in Nagpur, giving details of the promises made and fulfilled by it. 1 year of this government has left people disappointed. Farmers' suicides have risen. Crops are not getting fair prices and cultivators are struggling for seeds and fertilizers. He said, accusing the ruling alliance of being busy patting its own back in 5 stars hotels while ignoring ground realities. पंचवर्षीय पंच से सधेगी दुनिया विश्वास की परंपरा, दोस्ती की मिसाल। भारत रूस रिश्तों की नई उड़ान पर श्वेत पत्र। नौ 19 समझौतों से कितनी बदलेगी दुनिया? इस दोस्ती से भारत में क्या क्या बदलेगा? श्वेत पत्र। रिवेंज साउथ कॉल्ड moved by charismatic Akshay Khanna and a brooding Ranveer Singh. Aditya Dharjavicious but overstressed and chest thumping espionage. Sega serves political interest, taste and endurance. In the last few years, Aditya Dhar has emerged as a Dhurandhar, an expert who can soft pedal nationalist propaganda with assertive execution. After Uri and Article 370, here he turned a potential OTT series into two 12-minute unyielding character study of Elvis. European, European Asian ट्रेड एंगल। इस दोस्ती से भारत में क्या क्या बदलेगा? पंचवर्षीय पंच से सधेगी दुनिया। विश्वास की परंपरा, दोस्ती की मिसाल। I have spoken about going a bit harder at the death. Visakhapatnam ahead of the series. Decided against South Africa. Ryan Ten stated that India has one India has been working on addressing the drop in run rate in the death overs. The slight showdown in both games was a combination of the wickets slowing up a little bit as the ball got older. We have nice balance in our batting, says Brisky from Visakhapatnam. Matthew Brisky heaped praise on the side's deep, compact batting until for the fight it showed in the first two ODIs against India. We have got a nice balance. A couple of guys are total battlers, and then you have got powerhouses. India edges Belgium entered the semi-finals from Chennai. It was a cliffhanger in every sense. The spectators were kept on the edge of their seats until the very last second, and India ultimately gave them plenty to cheer as the host edged out a resolute Belgium 4-3 nerve-wracking penalty shootout after the teams were tied 2-2 at the end of regulation time. Little to separate men in blue and Proteus series decided. Fox on the toss and blue. Rohit Kohli hold the key for India. The home team's fortunes will also depend heavily on how its bowlers led by the trio of Rashid, Ashdeep and Harshit perform South Africa's Sweat Soil, Burger and Day George's fitness. From Vishakhapatnam, cricket is a religion in India, a unifying force even in the most strenuous situation. The country is currently reeling under a widespread air travel disruption, but even fans dealing with last minute cancellations and delay found momentary solace in predicting which way the pendulum will swing when India faces South Africa here on Saturday. And understandably so, after 1,401 runs, including 4 centuries and 29 wickets, there is little to separate the two teams heading into the series decider at the ACA VDCA Stadium. Whether Arlt, Labuschagin and Smith lead the charge from Brisbane. Washington is still learning to bat in middle overs and lost check. Solid support. Guys who are doing the job for us just happen to be all rounders. Setback. Discuss Royal Slavin Punia suspended for doping violation. Dominant display. India blanks Ireland for 0 in women's junior WC hockey. World athletics bleaches. Long jump takeoff John reform from Paris. World Athletics has recently reformed to the long jump that would have replaced the traditional bird behind which jumps must be made. The concept of a new long jump takeoff zone, whereby the distance of the jump would be measured using cameras from where the foot left the ground in a 40-centimeter zone, had been met with widespread criticism from athletes. The idea behind the reform was that it would significantly reduce the risk of invalid jumps, but critics argued it removed the essential technical risk of long jump. Currently, judging the sprint of the runway before hitting a fixed board, World Athletics has listened to its athletes and has decided to put the testing of a new proposed takeoff zone for horizontal jumps on hold indefinitely. A spokesperson for track and field's governing body said while the format tested well with fans and spectators, there was little support for the takeoff zone among athletes who are our key stakeholders. Takeoff zones may be considered for completely new and different event types in the future, but nothing is in formal planning at this point. A lot at stake as Napoli and Juventus renew their famed rivalry in the CA Milan. Napoli had a chance to strike a blow against Juventus as the two great Series A rivals face off on Sunday in another episode of Europe's tightest league title race. Knockout games shifted to Pune from Mumbai. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has shifted the knockouts of the Shaikh Mustaq Ali Trophy from Indore to Pune due to logistical issues. The Madhya Pradesh Cricket Association reportedly informed the board a fortnight ago about its inability to host the tournament due to non-availability of hotel rooms for the team. The BCCI secretary Devjit Saikia confirmed to Sportstar on Friday that the knockout stage has been moved to Pune. Shefali in ICC award shortlist from Dubai. India opener Shefali Verma, whose blazing 87 and 2 key wickets powered the country to its maiden ICC Women's World Cup title, was on Friday named in the ICC Player of the month shortlist for November, Shafari delivered a match-winning all-round performance in the final against South Africa in Mumbai, earning the Player of the Match award and now a place among the three nominees for the monthly honor. She joined on the women's list by Aisha Oza of the UAE and Islands UKSC Stars grassroots football program from Kolkata. Dogra releases all of her talent scout from Kolkata. How Cummins helped Ashok find his bearings from Ahmedabad. Rajasthan pacer Ashok Sharma, who is now the leading wicket taker with 16 wickets from 5 matches in the ongoing Shaheed Mustaq Ali Trophy, identified himself as a hard length bowler. That's one big takeaway from his conversations with Pat Cummins at the Kolkata Knight Riders camp in IPL 2022. Whenever I am fully fit, you will see me in India colors again. The Assam all-rounder is going through a slump in the SM80 is confident of regaining his touch 74-year-old or adds that he has been through these phases many times from Lucknow. Well, Anahat take honors in HCL Squash India Tour for Man United views missed chance in West Hangzhou. Freshman excitement to sophomore slump the travels of Arne Slot. रूस भी डील चाहता है भारत को तेल देते रहेंगे रूस भी डील चाहता है हथियारों की सप्लाई रणनीतिक साझेदारी मजबूत करेंगे श्वेत पत्र भारत से कारोबार एक साल में 12 बढ़ा 100 बिलियन डॉलर कारोबार करेंगे दोस्ती निरंतर व्लादिमीर पुतिन राष्ट्रपति रूस मोदी पुतिन का दम ट्रंप का टैरिफ बेदम भारत रूस रिश्तों के नई उड़ान पर श्वेत पत्र दोस्ती निरंतर freshman excitement freshman excitement to sophomore slump the travels of Arne Slot. In his first season as Liverpool manager in 2024-25, the Dutchman won the Premier League at a cancer, but this campaign has been tough. The form of Mohamed Salah has Dave Diego Jota's unfortunate death is seemingly having an effect, and new signings are yet to invigorate the setting. Where do Liverpool and Slot go from here? By dropping his best players, Slot appeared to be implying that he was willing to look beyond reputations for the best part of a decade. Liverpool's right flank has been inhabited by Mo Salah in that time. The curly-haired Egyptian with a amount of a left foot has been the attacking heartbeat and the conductor of the court orchestra that the Enfield faithful have merrily swooned to, dribbling past image of defenders, fashioning fleet-footed runs into the 18-yard box, unleashing unstoppable thunderbolts into the back of the net. He has done it all over 100 plus appearances for the club. It has elevated the 23-year-old to the very top of the pantheon of legends to have played for the Merseyside Giant. The numbers reflect his greatness in 301 Premier League appearances for the club. He has racked up 188 goals and 89 assists, having also scored two for Chelsea in his first stint in England. His overall tally of 190 goals is the most by a foreigner in Premier League history, six more than Sergio Aguero. These individual feats have translated into two league titles and one Champions League crown in his 9 seasons, rekindling Liverpool's glorious days after a long barren stretch. Brewing notable, therefore, when Liverpool's right flank emerged, conspicuous by his absence in the 2-0 win against West Ham United on Sunday. Teachers in Maharashtra staged day-long stir-over tantrums. The on-student-teacher ratio from Mumbai. Nearly 1.8 lakh teachers across Maharashtra staged a day-long strike on Friday, shutting down 95% of Jilla Parishad schools, 60% of municipal schools, and 75% of private aided schools. According to Teachers Associations, the protest was coordinated by 35 unions representing primary and secondary teachers as well as non-teaching staff. Active teachers from convener Bhav Jaskare JP, school teacher from Ahilyanagar said the education was widespread in areas where the model code of conduct was not enforced. Amend RTE Act. Parent unions also joined us in some places. The core issue is professional dignity. After completing B.Ed and B.Ed, teachers face arbitrary changes in norms. The government must amend the Right to Education (RTE) Act and roll back regressive policies, he said. The flashpoint is the government resolution dated March 15, 2024, which describes a stringent student-teacher ratio. Protesters argue that this will force closure of nearly 17,000 schools, especially in rural and tribal belts. The ZR also mandates adjustment of schools with the low student strength, which the unions say will disrupt education and violate RTE norms. Teachers also criticize the growing burden of non-academic tasks and fact-based reporting. Maharashtra Rajya Prathmik Shikshak Samiti Wardha Chief Vijay Kondo said there was no response from the government. The unions have warned of an indefinite strike if their demands are not met. High Court refuses to interfere with stone laying of Babri Masjid style mosque from Kolkata, observing that the responsibility of maintenance of law and order would rest with the state government. The Calcutta High Court on Friday refused to intervene in the foundation stone laying of a Babri Masjid style mosque by Bharatpur legislator Humayun Kabir scheduled for Saturday. The division director of acting Chief Justice Sanjay Paul Sujay Sujoy Paul was hearing a petition that claimed that the event would affect communal harmony in the state. Admissions from Hindu groups called March from Jammu. Correction in a report, Assam Minister and Tribal Body amid row OST stage of six community. Bengal SIR EC calls for steps to weed out dead eligible voters for Anvis Hayes quota for orphans as Mahiti marks 1 year in office. Roy's book cover doesn't violate law. Supreme Court Judge's plea from New Delhi. The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed the petition accusing author Arundhati Roy and her publisher Penguin Random India of glamorizing tobacco use by posting a photograph of her with a BD on the front cover of her book Nobody Comes to Me to promote the work. Even Chief Justice of India Suryakant and Jayamala Bagchi said neither the author nor the publisher intended the photograph to advance the book in the market. The court pointed out that the publisher has already used a disclaimer clarifying that the cover photograph should not be viewed as an encouragement to smoke. The Chief Justice asked the counsels for the petitioner, a lawyer named Rajaswamy, represented by senior advocate S. Gopal Kumarian Nair, whether he had read the book and had a different view about its contents. Court arrests police for keeping UAPA accused in custody for 2 years without filing charge sheet from New Delhi. The Supreme Court on Friday granted bail to a 55-year-old tribal man, taking serious exception to the Assam police keeping him in custody for 2 years without filing a charge sheet, terming his prolonged incarceration as wholly unjustified. A bench of Justices Vikram Nath and Sandeep Mehta pulled up the Assam police for failing to file the charge sheet within the statutory period prescribed under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. For 2 years, you did not file the charge sheet, and the man has been in custody. This is, in fact, illegal custody. You consider yourself to be the premier investigating agency of the country, the bench remarked, addressing Advocate Subhojit Roy, who appeared for the Assam government. Myanmar National Roy submitted that the accused long contact was a Myanmar national and had been found in possession of counterfeit Indian currency. High drama at Tezpur Varsity senior professor assumes charge of acting VC amid protest from Tezpur. In a dramatic turn of events at Tezpur University, which has been under complete shutdown for the last 7 days, the senior most faculty member assumed charge as acting vice chancellor Sumoto on Friday, citing the varsity's law. The new acting VC Dhruva Kumar Bhattacharya said he is making arrangements to hold the stalled end term exams from December 8, though the agitating students declared that the shutdown would continue till their demand. The ouster of incumbent Vice Chancellor Shambhu Nath Singh is met. The Board of Management meeting, however, was called illegal by a section of the faculty. Arunachal ministers no funds BJP loses polls remarks now from Guwahati. Arunachal Pradesh unit of Congress has demanded that a resignation of the state's rural development and Panchayat Raj Minister Panchayat Raj Ministry testing for allegedly threatening to stop the flow of developmental funds to the Panchayat constituencies where BJP no statement from JNK Lieutenant Governor from Srinagar. The National Conference observed the 120th birth anniversary of party founder Sheikh Mohammad Abdullah on Friday, pledging to take forward his mission of unity and social justice. The JNK Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, however, refrained from issuing any statement on the occasion. School principal on SIR duty dies of heart attack in UP. 59-year-old primary school principal on booth level officer BLO duty for the ongoing special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Aligarh district died of a heart attack. A family and education department officials said on Friday. The deceased Sadhana Verma, who was nearing retirement, died at her home on Thursday. She had been deployed for the exercise since it began on November 4. Her family said she had completed all her BLO duties within the stipulated time without any issue. Her son alleged that his mother had not received full salary for the last 5 months. Rajasthan CM lays foundation for feeder canal reconstruction. Rajasthan Chief Minister Bhajanlal Sharma laid the foundation stone for reconstruction of the Afrospur feeder canal at Sadhu Valley near Sri Ganganagar on Friday, while affirming that this government's policies would ensure the prosperity of farmers and help supply irrigation water to far-off areas. भारत रूस रिश्तों की नई उड़ान पर श्वेत पत्र पीएम मोदी की लीडरशिप के पुतिन की मुरीद पीएम मोदी की लीडरशिप के पुतिन की मुरीद वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर में भारत दर्शक नहीं निर्णायक वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर में भारत दर्शक नहीं निर्णायक कूटनीतिक विदेश नीति और सुपरहिट मोदी नीति मजबूत अर्थव्यवस्था और निर्णायक नेतृत्व भारत रूस रिश्तों की नई उड़ान पर श्वेत पत्र posted to Bangladesh Sonali Khatun son returned to India after 5 months. On December 3 center had agreed to bring back the pregnant woman, her minor son, on humanitarian grounds after she stepped in. Four others who were sent across along with her also likely to return soon from Kolkata. Deepak Roy BJP says DMK appeasing Muslims as TN seeks early hearing in SC in Supreme Court from New Delhi. The Supreme Court on Friday saw a mercurial few moments when Tamil Nadu government councils effort at an early listing of an appeal against a Madras High Court order allowing worshippers of the Subramanian Swami temple to light the traditional lamp at the Deepakun stone lamp pillar atop the Thiruvananthapuram hill. श्वेत पत्र ग्लोबल साउथ विकासशील देश एशिया अफ्रीका दक्षिण अफ्रीका के कई देश ग्लोबल साउथ वर्सेस ग्लोबल नॉर्थ विकसित देश नॉरिश फास्टेस्ट इन प्रैक्टिस Abu Dhabi, McLaren's Formula One leader Lando Norris made a perfect start to the title deciding Abu Dhabi Grand Prix weekend with the fastest laps in both Friday practice sessions while Red Bull rival Max Verstappen was second. Turn up hope, Greaves keep weddings afloat. Bengaluru to host tie against the Netherlands from Bengaluru. ISL clubs make a friendly to AIFF from New Delhi. US President praises Congo Rwanda as they sign peace deal from Washington. US President Donald Trump praised the leaders of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda for their courage as they signed onto a deal on Thursday aimed at ending the conflict in eastern Congo and opening the region's critical mineral reserves to the US government and American companies. The movement offered Mr. Trump, who has repeatedly and with a measure of exaggeration boasted of brokering peace in some of the world's most entrenched conflicts. Another chance it tout himself as a deal maker extraordinaire on the global stage and make the case that he is deserving of the Nobel Peace Prize. It's a great day for Africa, a great day for the world. Mr. Trump said before the leaders signed the pact, he added today, we are succeeding where so many others have failed. Germany approves plan to attract more army recruits, stops short of conscription. Germany suspended conscription for men in 2011 and has since struggled to attract volunteers. From Berlin, German lawmakers on Friday approved the government's plan to attract more military recruits as the country tries to boost the ranks of its armed forces in the face of rising concern about the threat posed by Russia. The plan also foresees mandatory medical checks for young men. It stops short a reintroducing conscription, though it leaves open the possibility of compulsory service for at least a limited number should the need arise. Parliament's lower house, the Bundestag, approved the plan by 323 votes to 272 with one abstention. It is a modified version of a plan that Chancellor Friedrich Marsh cabinet approved by August. Germany has committed billions to improving its military equipment after years of neglect, and the government has turned its attention to trying to persuade more people to join up. It is not alone in trying to bolster its armed forces. Last week, France unveiled a program to train thousands of volunteers aged 18 and 19 starting next year. Belgium and Poland also have plans to attract more people to train or serve. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius told lawmakers that our allies are looking at Germany and argued that the country has become a peace center for defense in Europe. He said that with the new legislation, we are taking a further decisive step forward defense capability. Germany suspended conscription for men in 2011 and had subsequently struggled to attract large numbers of short-term volunteers. The plan foresees more attractive pay and conditions for people who join up on a short-term basis. Taiwan says China deploys warships in military operations. From Taipei, Taiwan said on Friday that China had deployed warships for military operation stretching hundreds of kilometers from the Yellow Sea to the South China Sea, posing a threat to the region. US widens travel ban to more than 30 countries. From Washington, the US plans to expand the number of countries covered by its travel ban to more than 30. US Homeland Security Secretary Christie Noam said on Thursday. Amish Noel, in an interview on Fox News, the in-ground angle was asked to confirm whether the administration of President Donald Trump would be increasing the number of countries on the travel ban list to 32. I wouldn't be specific on the number, but it's over 30, and the president is continuing to evaluate countries, She said. Mr. Trump signed a proclamation in June banning the citizens of 12 countries from entering the United States and restricting those from 7 others, saying it was needed to protect against foreign terrorists and other security threats. The bans apply to both immigrants and non-immigrants, such as tourists, students, and business travelers. MS Noam did not specially which countries would be added to the list if they don't have a stable government there, if they don't have a country that can sustain itself and tell us who those individuals are and help us vet them. Why should we allow people from the country to come here to the United States? MS Noam said. Reuters previously reported that the Trump administration was considering banning citizens of 36 additional countries from entering the United States, according to an internal State Department cable. An expansion of the list would mark a further escalation of migration measures the administration has taken since the shooting of two National Guard members in Washington, D.C. last week. Since returning to office in January, Mr. Trump has aggressively prioritized immigration enforcement, sending federal agents to major U.S. cities on turning away asylum seekers. Trump's strategy shifts from global role was resistance in Europe. The national security strategy elevates Latin America to the top of the US agenda in a reorientation from long-standing calls to focus on Asia and China's rise. It says Europe is facing civilizational erasure and pledges to eliminate mass migration. From Washington, US President Donald Trump laid out a radical realignment of US foreign policy on Friday, shifting the long-time superpowers focus from global to regional, brutally criticizing Europe as facing civilizational erasure and putting a top priority on eliminating mass migration. The national security strategy meant to flesh out Mr. Trump's worldview, elevate Latin America to the top of the US agenda in a sharp reorientation from long-standing US policy to focus on Asia to face a rising China. In evening we do, we are putting America first, Mr. Trump said in a preamble to the no-vetting intelligence. The strategy called for a readjustment of the US under Mr. Trump would aggressively pursue similar objectives in Europe in line with far right party's agenda. In extraordinary language, the resistance to Europe's current exactly within European nations. The strategy speaks in broad terms, seek to take charge of Asia-Pacific competitor. Hong Kong University Suspend Student Union